Hi, hello. So let's watch this video together. Actually, I already have like one analysis of this accident, but I forgot to stress one important part, which is like flying a very sporty wing. Well, not very, like a sporty wing. Like this is like a C-class equivalent, or maybe high B, depending on the wing, without the skill. So the point of this video is actually to have a look on what's happening and try to imagine what would happen if that would be like a low B wing, and the pilot has the same piloting skills. So here he crashes, he survives this. You can watch the other video where you see actually what happens then, but this is not the focus of this. So what happens here is, again, he's flying, and then there is a moment where his harness goes up and to the right, which means that there is a small collapse on the right side, up and to the right, and then he starts turning immediately. So this is the wing is spun here, which means that he put a lot of brake on the right side, and he actually he stalled the right side of the wing. And the most probable reason for this abrupt stalling is just he had this supporting reflex. This is something we all had if you fall behind or you get like weightless. If you lose tension in your lines, this happens to me all the time, then without knowing, unconsciously, my right hand is going below my ass just to support myself. And since I have a brake in my hand, this actually causes the glider to stall. So it's a normal reaction. And the trick is that if that would be low B, low Bs have a very low stall point, so you have to go with the brake really deep to stall the wing. Actually, when I flew my low B, I just had one low B, Ozone Geo 5, really nice wing, and it was extremely difficult actually. I flew it without a wrap, and so flowing without a wrap around your hand, it was extremely difficult to stall it after landing, or even like doing SIV stalling it. It's almost impossible. I mean, it was possible, but it was very. You had to go really deep. And this is actually the characteristics of a low B wing, because the reason is that if you do like erratic actions with your hands, you're not gonna stall the wing straight away. And this is in contrast to like a higher class wing, like for example this wing that he's flying, which has to be something like a C. Maybe high B, but I would rather say C. But this is this wing may be a bit older, because this video is from 2019, so maybe it's DH something like 2.3 or something like this. But anyway, so in this moment, when the initial stall, the initial spin, so stalling just the right hand with this support reflex that I assume is what has happened here, it's hard to say actually. That would not happen on a low B. But what follows, this for sure wouldn't happen on a low B, in my opinion. So now this part actually. Now he stalls left, right, and left, and those stalls they're not so deep. So basically, he's just moving his hands erratically, and the wing, since this is like a sporty wing, it reacts, because it's made for pilots who know what they are doing. It's made to react. And I strongly believe that if that would be a low B wing that this guy is flying, this would not have happened. He wouldn't be able to stall this wing so easily. So this wing would just fly away, and he wouldn't have crashed. And now the other aspect is, now he has this cravat. Here, so he has this cravat on the right side, and the trick is also that on a low aspect, because this is a high aspect wing, sporty wing, if that would have been like a low aspect wing, like a low B or A, but A is I mean, now A's are also good wings to fly, but at the time when I was using A's, they were very boring wings to fly. But this has changed. I mean, now there's guys are doing great flights with A. So, but I mean, low B is for me the last wing that you can fly without SIV. I mean, it's always good to do SIV, but I believe that you must have SIV experience to fly higher B, to like mid or high B wings, because then you may have situations like this that are more difficult actually to induce if you are flying low B, because as we mentioned, you have those very low brakes. Braking to the stall point is very low, so it's very difficult to stall the wing. And on the safe side, I mean, at least the wing I used to fly, And on the other side, low B wings, they have low aspect, so it's much more difficult to get the cravat. Actually, I have never had a cravat. I had like this wing destroyed a few times. I had many, like, you know, like going out of a stall on a low B and actually having the wing tip in the lines for a short moment, but then it cleared quickly. Well, there's always the aspect of luck. But I mean, it's the probability that you're gonna get something like this on a low B is much lower. And then if you get, which means that there's much lower probability that you will need to deal with keeping the direction skill that you learn on the SIV, and then exiting. And if you are not able to do, then exiting the spiral, which also you learn on SIV. And also in this case, exiting spiral with a cravat like that would probably mean that you have to stall the wing probably well, for sure actually, to clear a cravat like this, I assume. And this is also a skill that needs a lot of SIV acro training. So summing all together, if you ask me what would have happened here if this guy wouldn't fly a sporty wing like this with no skill, because he has no SIV skill. He's scared, and you've seen actually there's a moment now he released his brake, so he's actually grabbing his risers. We don't see it here, but you could have seen this before. Oh shit. Actually, you could have seen this just here. He's grabbing his risers, and so this is here. So this is a panic reaction actually, and you see this here. He's grabbing his risers one, then leaving the brake on the right side and grabbing the second riser. And so this guy, he's not used to you know, like wing moving all around the place and him being thrown around and spinning and turning and stuff. And it's normal. You never did the SIV, so you don't know how it feels, and it's very scary for the first time. And a guy like this under the sporty wing like this, what happens is you see on the video, and I strongly believe that if that would be an A or low B wing, there after this initial, I'm not sure if he would stall or not with this reflex of putting hand very low to support himself. But those stalls, this loss of control later, I believe it would not have happened. And then you wouldn't have he would just fly away. And even if, then the probability that he would get this cravat entering the spiral would be much lower. So this guy would have much higher chances to get out of this. But this is also something that he faced. So at the end of the video, actually, he's analyzing this, and he's saying what has happened, that I mean that he got more or less okay. He just broke a vertebra. I mean, this is not okay, but it's a serious thing. But I mean, this could have been much worse. And but he's not mentioning this. That he's blaming the weather. He's blaming the place where he was and the valley winds, and he's not blaming the lack of his skills, and he's not blaming the poor choice of the wing that he was flying. That this was a wing that he was not able to control, and if so, he's an A or low B pilot probably, and flying under an A or a low B wing would probably have saved him this adventure. So please comment on what you liked and what you didn't like. I let you just watch the the last part when after this hitting the wall. It's yeah, so that you see what has happened there, and yeah, and like, subscribe, and have a nice day. There you go, with this movement up, which means that there is a drag on the wing, turning slightly to the right, and then just spinning, like turning in place. This is due to the stalling the right side. And now you can see those erratic movements. Left, the hands very high and very low. It would be just enough that he would keep those hands high all the time at the rollers. And yeah, but to do this you have to be trained. You cannot get scared by, wing and yourself moving like this. And you can only overcome this scary situation by training, getting used to this. and then identify like in a split second what's going on and what's the right reaction. Actually, you don't even understand. It's just your body's gonna do the right. Your hands, muscle memory is gonna solve this for you. But you have to train a lot to get to this point where you can fly a wing like this safely. So now you see he's sliding down. Oh, this is crazy. Sliding down the cliff, a few hundred meters of wall below him. I'm not even sure what would happen in the rescue. Now he's lucky somehow the wing reversed. I was able to spin away from the wall, I'm not sure that we are able to do anything here. Yeah, and then, voila, so this is his conclusion. Wing is retired. We don't care about this because you can buy a wing. You can buy everything. You cannot buy your vertebra once you fractured it. Yeah, I mean, it heals, but you may have some complication. It's pretty painful for a long time. This analysis shows, this is typical. People try to search the errors somewhere else and not in their own, in their own person and skill. Yeah. So have a nice day, and Gary Economics is pretty cool. Please watch.